조심하셔야 합니다.
네.
이 방법은
It is 10 o'clock. It's time for the council be in session. We have Mr. Fuhr, Ms. Mislikowski, and Mr. Wax. We have four members present, need 6 for a quorum. Hi, Bill. How are you?
약속드리는 한남
Could we have, will the council come in order, please? Call the roll.
Alarcon, Alatorre, Burnson, Chick, Fuhrer, Galanter, Goldberg, Hernandez, Holden, Miskowski, Ridley Thomas, Voynich, Wax, Walters, Ferraro, 11 members present and a quorum, Mr. President.
Okay, the council will please come to order. This is a meeting, the last meeting in this council chamber of the City Council for the City of Los Angeles on the 8th day of April 1998. There are 15 council districts. The regular meeting days are Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And so the first order of business,
Approval of the minutes.
Mr. Hernandez moves, Mr. Fuhr seconds. There's no objections, unanimous vote. Next item.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
If there's no objections, unanimous vote. The next item.
First item, Mr. President, items noticed for public hearing, items 1 through 8.
Okay, we have somebody that wants to be heard on 7, so we'll call that special. We have a request to continue 2 until May 8th, is it?
Yes, Mr.
May
President.
8th. And we, on item number 6, that has already been continued until May 1st, so we won't have to take action on that. And item number 8 is to be continued until the May 6th. Are there any specials by council members? If not, prepare the roll on 1, 2, 4, 5. Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Those others have been continued, and 7 has been called special. The next item.
Next item, Mr. President, items for which public hearings have been held, items 9 through 19 and number 51.
Okay, council members, are there any specials, 9 through 19 and item 51?
Mr. President, you have on numbers 13, 15, 16, and 17, there's one signature on the file and there's a motion required.
Which one was that?
Items
13?
13, 15, 16, and 17.
And we need motions on those. All right, Mr. Alarcon moves on those. Item number 9, members of the council, there's someone wants to be heard. It is not a special, it's not a hearing item, but someone wants to be heard. If there's no objection, we'll call it special and allow that person to be heard.
Mr. President, we received a request to continue item number 9 for 2 weeks.
Number 9 for 2 weeks, so that'll take care of that hearing. So is there any objections to continuing item number 9 for 2 weeks? Mr. Hernandez moves, there's no objections, that'll be the order. So what do we have? We have 10, 11,
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19 also has one signature on the file that requires a motion.
so that Mr. Hernandez moves on that one also. And 51,
Yes, Mr.
That-
President.
that will be, that's continued from the 9th?
That was continued from yesterday's meeting.
Okay,
Could we call 51 special, Mr. President?
we sure can, so 51 will be called special. So prepare the roll on those, tabulate the vote.
11 ayes.
Those are approved. Put Mr. Burnson as present. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, items for which public hearings have not been held, items 20 through 49.
Okay. Okay, we have, somebody wants to be heard on 20, we'll call that special. 31. 42. 46. Anybody want to be heard on any of the other items? Okay. 31 is called special. All right. We have 31, 42, 46. We call those special. Any other special? 37 is called special. Any other specials by council members? If not, prepare the roll on 20 through 49 with the exception of 20. Oh, we're not ready for you, Mr. Watts. Please just be seated. Just be seated. We'll get to you eventually. 20.
He called it special.
Okay, we have 20, 31, 37, 42, and 46. Prepare the roll on the balance. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Those are approved. That includes there's 25 and 27, which we're receiving and filing, right? Okay, the next item. Forthwith on 44. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, item number 7, you have a card on.
Yes. Okay. Michael Wildman. Michael, speak from the microphone there. Huh? Oh, you're with... Okay. You want to give a report first, then we'll have the public hearing?
This is item number 7, sir?
Yes.
Yes. This was an application before the zoning administrator, Dan Green, who's the zoning administrator of record, for permission to allow a parking structure to be constructed as part of Raleigh Studios expansion. This parking structure was located in the R3 zone portion of the property on Raleigh Street. There was considerable discussion at Mr. Green's hearing and then at which he approved the application. It then went forward to the Board of Zoning Appeals, who also wrestled with this and imposed conditions that would effectively mitigate any negative impacts of the parking structure on adjoining residential properties and residential properties across the street. Those measures included enclosing the south wall of the parking structure and the east wall of the parking structure in a solid brick facade, and setting back the parking structure from Raleigh Street equal to that distance required from an R3 building. Further, the parking structure was precluded from taking access to Raleigh Street, and the front yard portion of the parking structure on Raleigh Street was to be substantially landscaped with mature vegetation. Lastly, that the parking district on Raleigh Street and Van Ness was to be expanded at no cost to the property owners except the applicant. That constitutes my report, sir.
Okay, Hal. We have item number 7. We have a public hearing now. Michael Wildman and Robert Gray. And Seymour Cotton. Michael, go ahead.
Members of the Council, I am Michael Weidman, a resident of Hollywood. I have lived at 5142 Raleigh Street for 8 years. I own my house, which is 73 years old. It was built in 1925. I am speaking as a concerned resident and as a reflection of my professional opinion, having worked in the architectural profession for over 26 years. It is essential that the integrity and livability of Hollywood's historic neighborhoods be protected and harmonized with the growth of the movie industry as required by the city's own codes, or we will quickly be left with nothing of historic or cultural significance. I strongly object to the construction of a 5-level, 45-foot-high concrete parking structure for 242 cars straight across the street from my house. I strongly object to the demolition of 2 70-year-old duplexes, 4 homes across the street from my house. I strongly object to the commercial studio parking structure use of property with residential zoning on my street. I strongly object to the approval of the variances requested for this proposed parking structure. The environmental impact report required for this project by the California Environmental Quality Act must be prepared. In my professional opinion, the impact of this project must be reviewed by the entire neighborhood community with due process. At least 5 areas from the Appendix G significant effects must be addressed. In this appendix, it is clearly stated, and I quote, A project may be deemed to have a significant effect on the environment if it will, number one, have a substantial, demonstrative, negative aesthetic effect. In my professional opinion, this project will substantially have a negative aesthetic effect on the street that I live on. Number two, conflict with adopted environmental plans and goals of the community where it is located. This project is not consistent with City of Los Angeles zoning regulations and does not fulfill code requirements for the approval of variances. In my professional opinion...
Michael, could we have some quiet in the council chamber, please? Mr. Wildman's making a presentation. I think we all should hear it. Thank you.
Thank you. This project is not consistent with City of Los Angeles zoning regulations and does not fulfill code requirements for the approval of variances. Number three, disrupt or adversely affect a property of historic or cultural significance to the community. This project would demolish 70-year-old homes on my street. This is destructive to the fabric of our old Hollywood neighborhood. Number four, cause an increase in traffic which is substantial in relation to the existing traffic load and capacity of the street system. I present to the council a letter from traffic engineer Mr. Walter Okitsu, president of the firm Katz Okitsu and Associates and president of the Southern California Transportation Institute, which states, and I quote, "Based on my review of the proposed site plan, a traffic study is required." I have this letter for the council. Number five.
Sergeant, would you get that letter, please?
Number five, increase substantially the ambient noise level for adjoining areas. More cars in the neighborhood will bring in more noise from car horns, car alarms, and the screech of tires. There are alternatives to this project. The mass of the parking structure could be alleviated by moving some parking spaces from the south and east sides of the structure to the center area of the proposed project site, which is now planned for surface parking. This parking structure could fit into the center of the present Raleigh Studio lot, which has a very large open area. I am concerned about the precedent approval of this project would set for further construction of more parking structures or other studio facilities on my street or other nearby streets in our old Hollywood residential neighborhood. I present these letters to the City Council written in objection to this proposed parking structure.
Sergeant?
Thank you. The Raleigh Studio has been cited by the City of Los Angeles for illegal parking use of the present vacant lot. The order to comply was issued January 26, 1998. To date, they have failed to comply with this order. I present a copy of this order to the council. I now ask if all those present who object to this parking structure would please stand. Thank you. Thank you, members of the council.
Okay, we have Robert Gray and Seymour Cotton.
Members of the council, my name is Robert Gary. I'm a script supervisor in the motion picture industry and have been for more years than I care to admit. I'm at present restoring London House, which is important to the history of Los Angeles. It was built by Finn Froelich, a famous sculptor who I have heard designed the city seal. And his sculptures are still all over the city. This house is in the path of expansion that I see from Raleigh. A few years ago, they put up a big structure which blocked my view of the Hollywood Hills, and now this is the second piece. And it seems that, as Raleigh says, we need this, we must have it, that seems to clinch the deal. Now, when they say we need some more in a few years, is my house going to be demolished? I feel that the Angel's Flight was rebuilt. We're beginning to take an interest in history of Los Angeles. This house, very unique, has a bas-relief of Jack London on the front. Jack London stayed there when he came to Los Angeles, and Finn Froelich is a famous sculptor of our past. A few years ago, the freeway was going to go through Beverly Hills, come right down through Raleigh Studios, demolish my house, go right down La Vista Court. That didn't happen because it was going to also go down through Beverly Hills and where the park is. That's where the power was, in Beverly Hills. Well, we're not Beverly Hills, and we don't seem to have that kind of wallop. I object to the building of this structure for the same reasons that Michael Weidman presented. I will send pictures of this structure, which really can't be described, to the council. Thank you very much.
All right, Seymour Cotton.
My name is Seymour Cohen. My wife and I own an apartment building directly adjacent to the proposed parking structure. On the basis of air pollution, noise pollution, excessive traffic on Raleigh Street, late-hour operations of the studio, then car alarms and beeps of alarms being activated on all hours of the day and night. This type of construction as a residential neighborhood is unconscionable. No one, including members of the City Council, would be accepting of this type of construction next door to their residences. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, then we have Greg Lawson and George Rosenthal.
Mr. Ferraro, members, I'm pleased to be here on this historic day. Raleigh Studios has an existing parking structure. The proposal here is to expand that structure. This is a project which has support from the community. We submitted letters to the Plum Committee, which are in your file. We also have a number of people here today that are supporting this project. I'd like to ask them to please stand at this time. These are supporters of the Raleigh Studio project, please. In addition, we have a letter that we received just yesterday from the Speaker of the California Assembly, Antonio Villaraigosa, who is supporting this project. This happens to be in his district, so he does support it. I'd like to pass this out if I could.
Sergeant, would you pick?
Thank you. Just in conclusion, this is a project that was supported and approved by the zoning administrator, by the Board of Zoning Appeals. It has been recommended for approval by your Planning and Land Use Management Committee. There are 29 conditions of approval. There's also a mitigated negative declaration, which has conditions attached to that. We believe that this project, as conditioned, is compatible with the neighborhood and will support the goals of this community. We urge you to support the Plum Committee report and to deny the appeal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. George Rosenthal, and then David Carlett.
Thank you, Mr. President and members of the council. I would like to first acknowledge Mayor Bradley, who was very instrumental in Raleigh Studios expanding in the mid-1980s when film production was running away from Los Angeles. Combination of the council office and the mayor's office, we were able to, I hope, at least stem some of the tide from the outflow of the entertainment industry. Raleigh Studios has been in operation continuously since 1915, the oldest operating studio in Los Angeles, and was originally built by an individual named Clune, who was an exhibitor in downtown Los Angeles. Over the past 2 years, we have worked with the council office, the local neighbors, the Plum Committee recommendations, the BZA, and adopted all of the recommendations to make this parking structure compatible with the neighborhood. The present zoning in the neighborhood is R3. The impact of the parking structure has been found to be less than that which could be built of right, that is, an apartment building of equal height. So we believe that by lessening the impact on the street, no access on Raleigh Street, that we in fact provide a lesser impact than an apartment building could. And we hope that the council will view it accordingly. Thank you very much.
John, close the public hearing.
David Carlett.
Thank you, members of the council. I'm a homeowner in the neighborhood who's worked very closely with the studio for the last 6 months on this project, along with the majority of the neighbors. I can tell you from the beginning there was concerns by us about this project, but the studio's worked very closely with us to address those concerns. I'll tell you frankly that our neighborhood, it's been referred to as a historic neighborhood, is one graffiti attack away from being a slum. And we believe that the studio's efforts to beautify the community and to work with us to maintain the integrity of our community will in fact actually be a positive. And I must tell you the majority of the community is very much in support of this project. Thank you.
Miriam Baum. Marion Baum, do you want to be heard? Ron?
Hi, my property is...
Pull that microphone down a little bit, so.
I've never spoken into these. Okay, my property is right across the street from the structure that is there now, the garage. And I have 3 tenants, 3 houses right across the street, and never had any problems regarding noise. And if we did, we would call and they would help us. I just want to say, I want to thank the studio for buying the lot and for doing this new structure, as we had a lot of problems there before, and we don't have them right now. I just feel that it would really enhance the neighborhood to have the studio build the garage.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We have some other people want to be heard, but they're in favor, and I think that we've, including the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, Bill Waltz, so I think we have an idea on the feelings of those people. I'm going to call on Mr. Burnson first, but forthwith on 48 and 49, please. Mr. Burnson?
Yes, members of the council, the committee unanimously approved the Raleigh studio application. We did add some additional conditions, which included planting of vines, planter boxes, or similar paintings on the edge of the roof of the existing and new parking structures, so they grow down from the rooftop of the south side facing Raleigh Street. If it is determined by the district council office and the neighborhood committees that a pocket linear park is desirable, Raleigh shall provide a pocket park in the area between the new parking structure and Raleigh Street. The park will be landscape maintained by Raleigh, and the studio's security will patrol this area. The question of whether a 9-foot fence is necessary may be determined in consultation with the council office and the neighborhood committee. Also, relative to the conservation of trees at this location, the committee moved, in lieu of any required street dedication, widening, or improvement along Raleigh Street, that Raleigh record an irrevocable offer to dedicate a strip of land along the north side of the Raleigh Street in front of the proposed parking structure. The committee also noted that the current zone allows very high apartment density at this location, which could be developed by right, and such development could potentially produce a greater impact on the neighborhood. The proposed project is mitigated, softening the impact on the neighborhood, while also allowing for the growth of an important industry, the entertainment industry. On balance, the committee recognized that this represents a good project which benefits the community. As such, the committee recommended that the appeal be denied, the variance be granted, and the commercial corner development operating after 11 p.m. be approved, subject to modified conditions of approval. And I would so move, and the committee did so move, and I would urge a unanimous vote by the council.
All right, thank you, Mr. Burnson. Members of the council, this is in my district, and this is one of those tough decisions you have to make. There are some people that are very concerned, and I can understand why, but by that same token, this industry has been very good to the city of Los Angeles. They do need parking, but I think we've made some some concessions on it, so there will be some setbacks and some landscaping that'll improve the area. So I would ask you to vote in favor of it. Any other discussion on this? If not, prepare the roll on item number 7. Tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, item number 20. You have cards on that item, and it's been called special.
Okay. Mr. Burnson, item number 20, we have a lot of people on each side now.
Yeah, I'm going to move for a public hearing, perhaps maybe about, how many minutes do we need on each side?
Well, I'm sure a lot of it will be repetitious, but so why don't we just give 10 minutes on each side?
10 minutes on each side.
Okay. Mr. Alarcon, you have an introduction, and then Mr. Hernandez has an introduction.
Yes, council members, we are very happy to have with us a group of young people from the San Fernando Valley representing the Asian Pacific Islander Council, which was established about 5 years ago in the San Fernando Valley. They're all standing back there. I also have 2 of their assistant coordinators, or coordinators assistants. We have Jenny Lowe, coordinator assistant, and she attends El Camino High School, and Vincent Gu is a coordinator for the program, and you attend North Hollywood High School. So we have a group of students from various high schools throughout the San Fernando Valley. I believe there's some middle schools as well. We want to thank them all for joining us, learning a little bit about City Hall. Maybe next time they visit, we'll be at the other City Council chambers, and in fact, I think they're going to go over there to see our new chambers as we go. Oh, I should mention, I apologize, I didn't mention the executive director of the Asian Pacific Islander Council is Susan Ng. She's doing a great job. They're doing health fairs. Now they have a youth program. So we want to congratulate them for all their tremendous work in bringing together all the Asian Pacific Islander communities of the San Fernando Valley.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Alarcon. Mr. Hernandez?
Mr. President, members of the council, in case you went by some of us, this is the National Community Development Week in the city of Los Angeles. And when we talk about community development, we basically talk about, we just went through the exercise of approving the block grant that we received from HUD, and basically dealing with all the issues of economic development, human development in the city of Los Angeles, and trying to get them to work hand in hand. This morning at the Triforum, we had the opportunity to honor many of the organizations who do that work, as well as the city employees that are part of it. And it's my pleasure today to present to everybody the Housing and Urban Development Deputy Assistant Secretary, Kenneth C. Williams. And we as a city wanted to recognize him for his compassion, commitment, and leadership in providing housing, employment opportunities, and services to individuals and families and communities of need. You need to understand he played that role in Las Vegas, and now he's playing it at the national level. He's someone that understands human services. He understands the work of the community development departments throughout the nation. And we just want to present this plaque to Mr. Ken C. Williams for the work he's been doing, and thank him for the work he's done with the city of Los Angeles on behalf of all Angelinos.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez.
And if you don't mind, Mr. President, if you could say just a few words on behalf of the Housing and Urban Development Department.
Good morning, Council President. I'm going to be brief. I consider my visit to your wonderful city just an extension of the Secretary's most recent visit to the city of Los Angeles. I come out today to not only celebrate what you're doing with the HUD funds, but as we are in the park, we're just talking about, we celebrate the humanity, the ideals, and the creative opportunities that you're making for low and moderate income persons in this city to become a part of the mainstream wealth and opportunities that Los Angeles has. I compliment you all. I compliment your city staff, your leadership, and I compliment all the council persons who are here today on this remarkable day as you close this facility to move to improve it. We're glad to have you as our partners at the national level, and we thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Hernandez. Members of council, now, this is on item number 20, and we're going to have 10 minutes on each side, so would you set the clock? George, and if there's anybody particular in favor of the mayor's position on this, as a leader, speak up, but if not, I'm going to call on George Woolard first.
That has brought this matter to this council today. We're the adjoining property owners next door, and I wonder if we could have everybody here who's against this dance hall to stand up. This is the answer of the community to this nuisance that's gone on and on and on for 7 years, that's been ignored by the council office, notwithstanding complaint after complaint and phone call after phone call. We have families in our location who cannot get rest at night because of the drunks in the parking lot from this bar. There's no respite. It's a continuous problem. There's no security. There's no protection for any residents of our location from this type of activity. Now, if this dance hall is granted, matters are going to get considerably worse. We have to recognize one thing, that when somebody receives a conditional use request to use their property in a certain way from the city, they incur certain obligations. Conditions are imposed, and those conditions have to mean something. There have to be some consequences. Now, this bar, which is actually supposed to be a restaurant, has violated so many conditions that it's impossible to name them. They're in the city council file. I could go on, and I will not take your time to do that. What we have to really understand here is that these problems have continued with this bar right to the present day. We have a situation 2 weeks ago where there were further problems with this location. They were cited for further violations. One has to wonder what's going to happen if this man gets this approval and the scrutiny is not on him anymore, when all the focus is on his location and he's continuing to commit these same type of violations that we've had to contend with. The mayor is only asking that this matter be put off until such time as the charges that are pending against Mr. Duff, the bar owner, are resolved. After all, there's actions being taken by 2 administrative agencies against him right now. If he's cleared of the charges, if he's not guilty, he shouldn't have anything to worry about, and he can proceed with his dance hall. The mayor's veto was well-founded and ought not to be overturned. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Dan Streeter, please come to the podium. And Howard Watts will be prepared to follow Mr. Streeter.
Mr. President, members of the council, I'm Dan Streeter Sr., past Grand Knight and current trustee of Hollywood Council 2406, KFC, that's Knights of Columbus. And pursuant to a motion passed in the council last evening, I am here to support the mayor's veto of this proposed action. The reason for that is that the establishment on Schrader Boulevard, known as the Moguls, has a documented history of ordinance violations, troublemaking, and public disorder. We desire to support the mayor because of the history of the anti-family atmosphere and persistent ordinance violations at the said establishment, which is in the proximate neighborhood of a Catholic school and a Catholic church and a public school, grade school. In view of the actual and potential problems of public disorder nearby to schools and churches, the Hollywood Council 2406 Knights of Columbus, which incidentally is a charitable and fraternal organization and has been in Hollywood since the early 1920s, believes support of the mayor's veto is in the best interest of the concerned Hollywood community. Thank you.
Howard Watts.
I can't believe we got a councilwoman that doesn't want to go along with the mayor. This is ridiculous. It's the second time we've had this happen with her. It's about time we recalled her. If the mayor vetoes something, then that veto should stand. And I hope this council members will overturn if she tries to raise this veto and pass the veto move. It's time we get rid of these kind of council members in this city, and I hope we get rid of her very quickly and very soon. It is time that we have a member of our community pay attention to our community and not for her special interests.
Bill Williams. Bill Williams, Hillary Vasquez. Hillary Vasquez. Daniel Ross. Time's running, 10 minutes.
My name is Hillary Vasquez. I'm the enforcement supervisor with the Department of Alcoholic Beverage Control. At this point, the department would like to state its position regarding the mayor's veto. We are in strong support of his veto. There are current allegations pending against Mr. Duff, which we expect to be court calendared within the next 3 to 6 weeks. At that time, the department will be presenting information based on the numerous violations of conditions Mr. Duff has suffered from October through the present. In addition to the case that's filed, there is a new pending accusation for a violation of conditions which occurred as early as March 27th, 1998. He continues to violate the rules and regulations as set forth by our department, therefore injuring the public welfare and morals of this state. Thank you.
Okay, Daniel Ross.
Members of the council, the biggest problem with the bar next door, I'm a part of the Chesterfield Hotel, is basically the drug dealing. There's a lot of drug dealing coming out on the street from customers that are going on the lot next door. There's a lot of noise, a lot of music, and it disturbs people all around. Basically, I am against the dance hall. Thank you.
Okay. Don Lipman. Don Lipman.
Thank you, Mr. President. We're here to talk about a dance permit, but I'm not here to talk about a dance permit. I'm here to talk about the impact on the neighborhood. It would encourage prostitution and solicitation by dancing. I don't know if you've ever been by this, but this is not the Coconut Grove. It's a little looks like a seedy place. You have the redevelopment agency there to revitalize, and the publicity is about a seedy neighborhood. Well, I never thought Hollywood was seedy, but it looks seedy in the environment of that particular bar. And I think at this time, a vote to overturn the mayor's veto is a vote against the neighborhood. And I would like to see consideration on this matter with the neighborhood in mind. We seem to be coming back time after time, fighting against proposals throughout the 13th district, and the neighborhood has not been considered by our council representation. So I would encourage supporting the mayor's veto. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Virginia Chase.
Good morning, President and all council people. I have been up before you and other council people twice now on the MOGO. I am hoping you will go forth with the mayor. I'm sorry, Jackie, you do not live in Hollywood, 2 blocks away like I do. Now, since 1992, I have been here. I'm the lady who put in all the conditions because the principal came to me in 1991 and said, Virginia, the MOGO wants beer, they want wine, they want dance, they want pool tables, they want machines, all these things. It is too close to the school. It's only 325 feet away from the apartment building. These people have to put up with the noise. I put in for security. The man has never followed through on the security. He has violated his laws constantly. I cannot understand one thing. In all of these that I have, if he violates a condition, he's supposed to have a $1,000 fine or more, or 6 months in jail or less. I have never seen in the newspaper, I have never seen where he's ever gone to jail or he's ever paid a fine. But I'm asking you people, Jackie will not be here only a couple more years. I hate to fight against her, but please stand by the mayor, because we are the ones who are going to be living in Hollywood, and we are the ones who's going to be left with the problem. So you wouldn't want it in your district, and I don't want it in mine. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. The 10 minutes have expired on the those for the veto. I want to point out that Jackie will be here as long as the mayor's here too. Okay, Joe Shea, those in favor. Joe Shea, and then Jerry Schneiderman.
Supervisor Yaroslavsky, very nice to see you.
Just talk to us, please.
Yes, sir. He's a familiar face, so I'm sure you'll agree. You know, this is an extraordinary case. Both of these individuals are members of the Ivar Hill Community Association. Mr. Willard is a member and Mr. Duff is a member. Let me tell you how I first came into contact with Mr. Willard. He came running out of the Vine Lodge at 1818 North Vine, shooting a heavy caliber firearm at somebody he was chasing up the street. Now that was about 10 years ago. Just Monday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, in room 207 of the Chesterfield Hotel, they busted a young man named Travis for selling drugs right out of his room. But there have been 122 patrol calls for service at the Chesterfield Hotel, and they have included forcible rape, robbery, assault. They've taken dead bodies out of there, and it and the Vine Lodge, operated by this gentleman, have been the 2 worst places in the entire Hollywood area. They have contributed more to danger and to violence and to crime in our community than any other place in the city. So why the mayor is in bed with this guy, I really don't know. Everybody is asking that question. That's my issue. Thank you.
Jerry Schneiderman, and then Josh Kaplan.
Gee, I couldn't imagine that I'd ever come here and support something that Jackie Goldberg was in favor of. You know that this is somewhat painful for me, but this is really out of character for Jackie too. I am here today representing the businesses along Hollywood Boulevard, those people that have suffered through MTA disasters, other business problems, and so has Phil Duff. He's been here for years, and he has suffered with the rest of us. Phil's business is vital to what goes on in Hollywood, and it is really a question for me of whether we're going to support more flea bag hotels or whether we're going to support the industry that makes our community strong. Nobody parks in Steve Ullman's parking lot over there unless Phil brings them here. Nobody buys pizza from George unless Phil brings them here. This is the kind of business that we need in Hollywood. It brings people to Hollywood for the industry that has made Hollywood famous. Phil Duff and Moguls plays a vital part in what happens here. He is the link between the industry that produces music and how it gets exposed to people. We want the people that Moguls brings to Hollywood here to do business, and he is by all means an asset. He's here already, he's doing business already. Whether people stand and listen to music or dance and listen to music doesn't make much of a difference. Lose people like Phil Duff, lose the Moguls, and the parking lot around the Chesterfield will be lost purely to the drug dealers and the bums. So it's important for us to support a business like this, and I'm here today representing the businesses on Hollywood Boulevard in favor of helping to keep another solid businessman in Hollywood alive.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Josh Kaplan, Carolyn Rice, and then Ricardo Contreras. Go ahead.
My name is Carolyn Race, and I am here to speak on behalf of the LA Gay and Lesbian Center. As many of you may know, the center is a very close neighbor to Moguls. We are directly across the street from it, well, adjacent, on Schrader Boulevard. I am here to support Moguls and to say that we at the LA Gay and Lesbian Center are happy to have Moguls as one of our neighbors. Since our arrival on Schrader Boulevard 6 years ago, we have worked to make sure that our Hollywood community is a place where our clients, other businesses, and citizens are free to live, work, and grow. We have worked with our neighbors, including the Hollywood Athletic Club, the YMCA, and of course, Moguls, to improve the quality of life for area residents, businesses, and those requiring social services. Moguls has been an integral component in community revitalization. Through its community entertainment, it adds to the rich cultural diversity of our area in Hollywood. In addition, partnerships between Moguls and the LA Gay and Lesbian Center have yielded several community and cultural events. Moguls has been an excellent neighbor to us and other members of the Hollywood community. I urge you to support them. Thank you.
Ricardo Contreras and Herbert Kloss.
Mr. President, I'm the manager for the building next to the Chesterfield Hotel. I'm here to support the Moguls because we don't have any problems in the Moguls estate and in the neighborhood where I live right now. We still with a problem with the Chesterfield Hotel because they have some violations at the health department. They don't have screens in the windows. We found in the driveway all day, every day, condoms, nipples on the trash they throw from over there. So I right here with some tenants from my building. They want to speak something about that. About the Moguls, I think we don't have any problem. They said there.
Hi, my name is Lorena.
What is your name?
Excuse me?
What is your name?
Lorena.
Okay, go ahead.
I lived on Schrader on 1618 for like 2 years, and I had never had a problem. And I had a problem with the hotel next door. That's the one that brings all the bums and drugs and bums and everything. So I came here to support the club.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Herbert Kloss.
Yes, Herbert Koss, and I'm a tenant on the street, a resident on Schrader. I live a block away from Moguls. I'm here to support them because the hotel next to them is fighting them. Now they say they're a hotel. Let's understand, we're not talking about a Hilton, a Sheraton, we're not even talking about a Motel 6. We're talking about a $25 a night transient hotel where I've seen people move in with their belongings and shopping carts. I moved from the drug corridor of Yucca to Selma, a block from Moguls, to escape the drugs. Unfortunately, the drug dealers have come down to Selma, and I've seen on numerous occasions drug dealers going in and out of his hotel, and I resent this. at the hotel, at Moguls. He has security guards. He's done everything they've requested that I know of. He's put in security guards. I feel safer walking the street at night there. And he's also put in soundproofing. I don't hear any noise. I want you to consider two things, please. One is that the people that have businesses on Hollywood Boulevard, the tenants who live on the street, and the social center, the Gay and Lesbian Center, all support Moguls. That's very important. The second thing is they already have a license to operate. They have a license for music and liquor. I don't see where dancing is going to harm the street in any way. And also I want to say that being a senior citizen myself, I certainly don't have anything against senior citizens, but when people come here and say that if you're going to have dancing, you're going to have sex and prostitution, we're not in the Bible Belt. I'm sorry, I don't see the correlation. And when a man comes up and says, I am with the Knights of Columbus, I'm thinking, I've lived in Hollywood 30 years, where is the Knights of Columbus? So I went to him and he tells me they're on Melrose and Vine. Well, that has to be 2 or 3 miles away from the street we're talking about. That's not right to bring him in. He has no connection with it whatsoever. So I hope that you will support Moguls. And every time this man has a demonstration, he brings in people from outside the neighborhood to demonstrate. Very unfair. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, George Baxter. George Baxter? He's not here. Okay, Eric Caden, he'll be the last one.
Hello, council members. I've been a resident of Hollywood since 1977. I'm a merchant on Hollywood Boulevard. I've had a store there for 20 years. I started doing benefit shows, film festivals, and other types of events at Moguls going back about 5 years. We've never had any problems. We've gotten a good crowd of people. People have been entertained. They've enjoyed themselves. We show classic films and videos in the back room. People can sit down and watch some films, classic films, between the music. And I feel if Moguls is closed, where are these people going to go? They're basically, all the businesses on Hollywood Boulevard, if you noticed, have been closing down due to the construction, all kinds of problems. There's no really good entertainment clubs in Hollywood anymore for these people to attend. So I really think Moguls is an important asset to the entertainment community in Hollywood, and I think you should really keep it open and keep it going. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's going to be all the cards we're going to have. The 10 minutes have expired, and we'll make these cards part of the file. Before we continue this discussion, we have some very honored people here today, and as you all know, this will be the last day the council will meet in this council chamber. What's that? For 3 years to maybe 5 years, just to be on the safe side. That's how accurate we're going to be. But this building will be closed. As I point out, this is our last meeting, and it's with great sadness, and it's time to say goodbye to this historic hall, the scene of considerable oratory and debates, if you want to call them that, as legislation for our city was hammered out, and the setting of many ceremonial welcomes to the city provided by important visitors such as kings, queens, princesses, presidents, prime ministers, and even supervisors. It's time to say goodbye, and it's not easy for us to do so today, but we all should feel very special. It's been done before, according to the records provided by the city clerk. The Los Angeles Times headlines from 70 years ago on April 14th, 1928 read, "City government formally bids adieu to the old City Hall," 70 years ago. And there's a few members here like Ed Roybal that was here on that day, and Charlie Navarro. The story begins, the Los Angeles city government yesterday formally bade farewell to the old City Hall on Broadway between 2nd and 3rd, where for 40 years, mayors, council members, and other officials have ministered the affairs of the municipality. President of the City Council at that time was Councilman William Benelli. Coincidentally, Charlie Navarro, Italian heritage. Times can keep repeating themselves. The Times reported there were no flowers, no farewell speeches at the goodbye session of the council, and the councilmen were too busy clearing out their desks to indulge in oratory. And of course, that was before Nate Holden was around. I want to point out also that you're asked to clean out your drawers and desk as this is the final meeting. The minutes of the council adjourned. The movers began ripping out spectator seats and desk of the councilman, and the following Monday, the council met in a new chamber, this council chamber. This richly decorated council chamber with all of its marble and symbolic features are a remarkable legacy and a treasure of our city, and a symbol of how much the government of this city has been able to achieve with the help of people of the city of Los Angeles. So after 70 years, history repeats itself, and here with us today to share this historic moment are some former council members, and I will introduce them in a minute. And will everyone, we were going to do this at the adjournment, so we'll adjourn in memory of this chamber for the next 3 to 5 years when we finally adjourn. As Charles Dickens said, the pain of parting is nothing to the joy of meeting again. I really don't know about that, but as City Council stands adjourned, we'll be back. And as I say, let me just point out who we have here today. Here was the headline of the Times 70 years ago. So you figure it out. But today we have a former council member and mayor of the city of Los Angeles for 20 years, Tom Bradley.
Each of them will explain their own council member, who was council member at that time, a little brief description.
Thank you. Ed Roybal, former council member and also a congressman for many years. Ed represented the Great Ninth. Charlie Navarro, who was a councilman of the 8th District and then controller for many years. Supervisor Zev Yaroslavsky, who was a councilman. And I think he still misses the daily bouting with the city council, but he's got a different agenda now. Joy Pikus, member of the City Council, 3rd District. Art Snyder, councilman of the 14th District. Robert Farrell, councilman of the 8th District. Marvin Browdy, councilman for 32 years, the 11th District. Joan Flores, did I introduce you, Joan? Joan Milky Flores, councilman of the 15th District. Bob Roncook, councilman of the 1st District. Are there any other council members I didn't see? Now, members of the council, 70 years ago, we had predecessors, and I'm going to call on, we're going to go through the list, and we'll go with the 1st District first. Mike Hernandez, tell us about your council member.
Mr. President, members of the council, it's my honor to discuss the first councilman that met in these chambers, Charles Hiram Randall. And Mr. Randall was born July 23rd in 1965 in Auburn, Nebraska, another one of those immigrants to California. He was educated in public schools there. He began his business career as the editor and publisher of The Observer, which he founded in 1885 in Kimball, Nebraska. He later edited papers in Harrisburg and Hazeltown, Nebraska, and also various independent weeklies. His first governmental position was as the postal clerk with the United States Railway Service, which work he left to move to California in 1904. In 1906, Mr. Randall, after 2 years' service in the passenger department of the Santa Fe Railroad, founded the Highland Park Herald. And I'm glad to say that Highland Park is part of the 1st District today, but he founded it, and which he edited until 1915. He was appointed to the Municipal Park Commission in 1909. He served 2 years from 1911 to 1912, and then he was appointed to the city's Planning Commission. During the same time, he was elected to serve in the California Assembly, 1911 to 1912. In 1914, Mr. Randall was the first candidate of the Prohibition Party to be elected to the United States Congress. He served for 6 years in Washington in the 64th, the 65th, and 66th Congresses, respectively. He was the author of the War on Prohibition Act, prohibiting the use of foodstuffs for the manufacture of liquor, and expended his energies generally in various temperance and prohibition activities. After 6 years as a congressman, he became active in the San Fernando Valley. And there's, again, the link between the valley and the city, first. And basically, he was working on their municipal improvements. In 1925, he was elected to the city council for the 1st District. He served on the council from 1925 to 1933, being its president during the term of 1931 and 1933. On the council, his activities directed to better roads, lighting systems, and water and power improvements for the valley. Mr. Randall was defeated for the United States Senate in 1928, running on the Republican Party's Prohibition ticket. And here's a picture of him. As you can tell, he looks nothing like me. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Wax, the 2nd District.
Mr. President, members of council, the council member of the 2nd District at the time was an attorney from Hollywood named Arthur Alber. I think a picture is worth 1,000 words. This was the councilman, this is the official picture of the councilman from the 2nd District in 1928. Some things change a lot and some things never change.
Mrs. Chick of the 3rd District.
I was going to say, this fellow doesn't look anything like me either. Ernest Webster was born in Ohio, educated in the public schools in his native city of Youngstown. He came to California in 1917 because he was a car salesman. And cars were taking off out here, and so he decided to bring his fortunes to Los Angeles. He formed his own company that sold automobile accessories in 1925. And he was elected from the 3rd District in 1927, and probably knew there were someday going to be term limits because he served his 2 terms and then left. It seems that maybe the boundaries of the district were radically different then, because here was a 3rd District council member who seemed to be most busy in things that had nothing to do with the San Fernando Valley. He was instrumental in the installation of the signal system now used on Wilshire Boulevard. He advocated legislation for public nurses in parochial schools, and he was very involved in the council in planning for Westwood, the opening of Sepulveda Boulevard, and the framing of new city zoning ordinances. So, proud to have him as an ancestor.
Thank you, Mrs. Chick. Let me point out that the member of the 4th District was William H. Hughes. It served from July 1, 1927 to June 30th, 1929, 1 term. Mr. Hughes was a large property owner and a taxpayer who moved to Los Angeles in 1905. At the time of his campaign for council office, he lived on South Harvard Boulevard for 12 years, which is still in the district. He's been extensively engaged in the insurance and real estate business and was the director of the California Savings and Commercial Bank. He defeated the city's incumbent Boyle Workman, son of the former mayor W.H. Workman, who had served 3 terms in the council, including 2 terms as council president. Mr. Hughes served a single 2-year term in the city council, and there was no record of any other political or business activity in the community. And this is not a very good picture of him, but so let me now call on Mr. Fuhrer.
Thank you, Mr. President. The 5th District City Council member 7 years ago was Virgil Martin, who became member of the council in 1927 and served 2 2-year terms, concluding on June 30, 1931. He was born in Tecumseh, Nebraska, and moved out to California, worked at B.F. Goodrich, and served on a couple different council committees, one of which was the Harbor Committee, the other was Parks and Playgrounds. To show you how far we've come in 70 years, he was active in promoting the opening of 3rd Street and Wilshire Boulevard, as well as the extension of Figueroa Street. And here we are today trying to put a business improvement district on 3rd Street. So the more things change, the more they stay the same. Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Fuhrer. Ms. Galanter, the 6th District.
You know, I've decided I'm going to write the one about me. I don't know who writes these things, but if we move back sometime after my term has been limited, I want to know what it's going to say. The council member from the 6th District at the time of the move was Lester Rice Ray. And I emphasize that he was the council member at the time of the move. He served less than a 2-year term. He started in July of 1927. He was born in Missouri, educated in public and private schools, and became a licensed teacher by the time he was 16. He went on to be a professor of mathematics at the University of Denver and an expert accountant. Held a number of positions with national firms, and at the outbreak of World War I was sent to Washington, where he was appointed by the, is Zev still here? Where he was appointed by the U.S. government to straighten out inefficiencies of the American Railway Express Company in the District of Columbia, the center of supply distribution. He moved to Los Angeles in 1920 and engaged in the sale of real estate in the 6th District, and part of his campaign platform was cheap, reliable transportation, particularly to Venice, the city's natural playground. However, alas, he was removed from office in a recall election generated by the protest of 18,000 property owners in his district against the construction of section number 6 of the Slauson Avenue storm drain.
Oh, really?
Thank you, Ms. Galanter. Mr. Alarcon of the 7th District.
Yes, my predecessor is somebody who I believe was a very good friend of Joe Wax's predecessor. Howard Davis was born November 13, 1985 in Wayne County, Pennsylvania, was educated in the public schools of Pennsylvania and New York. But the reason I suggest that he might have been a good friend of Mr. Wax's predecessor is there's an interesting note here that says he was on the council committees. His council committees were the harbor, parks and playgrounds, traffic and lighting, and those to do with state legislation for municipal improvements. But it also says he was a member of the federal committee appointed in 1933 to handle funds of the NRA. I don't know what was going on there, but that was interesting. So anyway, he served first as a member of the Assembly in 1925. He was elected to the state legislature and served for 2 years. He was then elected in 1927 to the city council from the same area and was reelected until 1935. He was the president of the council for 1 year from 1933 to 34, and after retirement from public office, Mr. Davis continued his business and political activities. He was defeated as a candidate for supervisor in 1934.
The chair recognizes Councilman Ridley Thomas, the esteemed council member of the 8th District.
We thank you, Mr. President, and I'm pleased to remind us of someone who has the distinction of precipitating charter reform in the city of Los Angeles, none other than the inimitable Frank L. Shaw, who was born in 1877 on a farm in Ontario Province, Canada, and was brought to the United States of America by his parents 5 years later. The Shaws immigrated to the States by way of Detroit. The father first taking up land in Colorado and Kansas before settling in Missouri. Frank Shaw was educated in the public schools of Denver, Colorado, and in Joplin, Missouri. He started his business in Joplin, where the family eventually made their home. In his early manhood, he became a salesman with the Campbell Riddell Wholesale Grocery Company, except for a short interval in which he was general store manager for Ozark Coal and Railroad Company at Fort Smith, Arkansas. He remained in the wholesale and retail merchandising business until entering public life. As representative of the Byproducts Department of Cudahy Packing Company, Mr. Shaw came to Los Angeles in 1909. 10 years later, he became affiliated with Haas, Baruch and Company of Los Angeles and left this company in 1925 to assume duties on the Los Angeles City Council, to which he was elected. Mr. Shaw served continuously in elective, nonpartisan public offices in this community from 1925 until 1938. It gets better. He resigned from the City Council on November 28, 1928, to take his seat on the Board of Supervisors, Mr. Yaroslavsky, from the 2nd District. You might remind Mrs. Burke of this. Elected mayor on June the 6th, 1993. He assumed office July 1, 1933, and served by re-election until recalled from this office on September 26, 1938. He was succeeded by Superior Court Judge Fletcher Bowen, who defeated Mr. Shaw by a vote of some 232,000 to 122,000 at a special recall election. This was the first change of Los Angeles mayors via recall election instigated by the people of Los Angeles. Mr. President, I remind you of Frank L. Shaw.
Boy, that's a heritage legacy you have to follow. Mrs. Walters.
I wonder why you gave me this one, sir.
The 9th District.
Of things to come.
The 9th District seat, council members, was filled by a Winfred J. Sanborn, who was born December 2nd, 1869, on his father's farm in Johnson County, Missouri. He attended the public schools of Missouri and Los Angeles, where his parents moved in 1884. After graduating from Los Angeles High School in 1888, he immediately entered the United States Postal Service as a mail carrier and remained in federal employ until 1910. During these years, Mr. Sanborn participated in the affairs of the Letter Carriers Association, in which he officiated from secretary to president and served as delegate to their national convention in 1898 and 1905. In 1910, he resigned from the Postal Service to become associated as bookkeeper and credit manager with Pierce Brothers and Company, undertakers. Mr. Sanborn was elected to the City Council July 1, 1919, from the 9th District, which is located on the east side, where he made his home and where he was active in civic affairs over many years. By re-election, he served until July 1, 1931, being president of the council during his last 2 years. As chair of the council committees on tunnels, bridges, and viaducts, and parks and playgrounds. He supported the movements for new viaducts to replace the ancient bridges spanning the river and other east side improvements. And this is a picture of the gentleman.
Thank you, Mrs. Walters. Mr. Holden, who's been very subdued today, but he'll rise to the occasion.
Mr. President, members, 1927 to 1935, the city council person was E. Snapper Ingram. Mr. Ingram was born on December 8, 1884 in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. He attended local public schools and later moved to Wisconsin, where he continued his general and musical training under a private tutor. When he was 20 years old, he began his working career, and shortly thereafter, after a number of jobs in Pennsylvania, he migrated to Monrovia in 1907, where he got a job in the city engineering department, where he remained 3 years as city clerk. In January 1910, the Civil Service Commission appointed him senior engineering clerk, Los Angeles City Engineers Office. He remained in that capacity until the United States entered into World War I. In April 1917, Mr. Ingram volunteered his services in the United States Army. He served as a non-commissioned officer in the California National Guard as well. In January 1918, he was transferred to the 2nd Anti-Aircraft Battalion, Fort Rosecrans, San Diego, until May 1918. And in June 1918, he was sent to France, where he remained in active service until his discharge in January 1919. In February of 1919, Mr. Ingram returned to his position in the City Engineering Office, where he remained until his election to the City Council in 1927. Mr. Ingram represented the 10th District in the City Council from 1927 until 1935. Now, you got to know this. The best job at City Hall, obviously, is not being a member of the council, because in 1935, Mr. Ingram was reinstated in his position in the office of city engineer, and he went back to that position. And I'll show you what Mr. Ingram looked like at that time.
We knew you'd do it, Nate. Was it?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. President.
Okay.
Guy could get in trouble for that.
The other one was more handsome.
Right on. Thank you.
Okay, the 11th District, Ms. Misakowski.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Was Marvin Browdy the...
Marvin Browdy wasn't the council person in 1928, but the person who held that seat was Pearson M. Hall, who actually had been born in South Dakota, but went to high school in Tecumseh, Nebraska, where Council District 5 representative came from. He actually lived in an orphanage in Nebraska, and then came to LA determined to become a lawyer in 1912. After a one-year course at Polytechnic High School, he then attended USC Knight Law School from 1912 to 1916. He was admitted to the bar in 1916. He was elected to the City Council in 1925, and during his 2 terms on the council, in a very prescient manner for the CD11 representative, he fought successfully to create a comprehensive traffic and management plan for the city dealing with congestion in 1929. He also authored legislation regulating flying over the city, in true tribute to his forebears to come, who are concerned about banning airport noise. He actually required that pilots be licensed to fly over the city of Los Angeles. He ran unsuccessfully for city attorney in 1929, but from the city council, he then went on to become U.S. District Attorney for the Southern District of California in 1933. He was in charge of draft registration in LA from 41 to 42, and in 1942, President Roosevelt appointed him to the federal bench. He continued to serve as a federal judge until the late 1970s, and he was considered the foremost authority on aviation law among the nation's 500 federal judges.
I don't want to indicate my age, but I did know Pearson Hall very well. Mr. Bernson of the 12th District.
I'm glad I'm not as old as Mr. Ferraro. I just want to say before I start in here that I had the opportunity of serving with several of our honored guests today who served on this council, and enjoyed all of them. I thought they all did a great job, and it was a pleasure serving with all of you. Also, the Congressman Roybal, I believe, was my councilman when I was growing up over in Boyle Heights. So I'm a little history here, members of the council. The 12th District, which is currently in the northwest end of the San Fernando Valley, used to be downtown. In fact, it was actually the 9th District at that time prior to reapportionment. And the way that happened was that Ransom Callicott passed away of a heart attack, who represented the 12th District in the downtown business area. And the council then, this is not in 1927, this is prior to the change. The council appointed John Patrick Cassidy to fill that vacancy, and then they reapportioned him, similar, Joel, to the northwest San Fernando Valley, which became the 12th District. Unfortunately, he did not get along well with some of the constituents. In fact, I remember coming down to talk to him about something in Reseda at the time, where I had a business, and getting thrown out of his office, which prompted me to support Bob Wilkinson. But at any rate, having taken care of that, representing the 12th District in 1929 was Douglas Eads Foster, who was born August 21st, 1875 in Warrensburg, Missouri. He was educated in the public schools of Warrensburg, and after graduating from State Teachers College in St. Louis, Missouri, attended Washington School of Dentistry in the same city. In 1998, Dr. Foster volunteered for hospital service in the Spanish-American War. Afterward, assisted in establishing the United States Dental Corps. He was commissioned one of the first dental surgeons to the United States Army in 1902 and served in that capacity until moving to Los Angeles in 1906. Here, Dr. Foster, after a postgraduate degree at the University of Southern California, John, practiced his profession until he retired in 1924. Elected to the City Council from the 12th District in 1927, Dr. Foster served one term of 2 years. During this time, he served on the police fire committees and was chairman of health and sanitation, which at that time was under the city of Los Angeles before turning that over to the county, and also on public welfare committees. Also, he was active in promotion of the 3rd Street Tunnel and is said to have opposed, now get this, the Bureau of Power and Light monopoly of city power concessions on the grounds that private industry is entitled to share in such business. After retirement from public office, Dr. Foster devoted his energies to his real estate investments. Thank you.
Okay, that was great. That was excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Bernson. Ms. Goldberg for the 13th District.
Yes, much like today, the 13th District was a home to a great many immigrants, one of whom, Carl Ingold Jacobson, immigrated in March of 1877 to the Midwestern United States he was born in 1877, March the 12th, in Norway, and was an immigrant in this country, first to the Midwestern United States by 1880, when he was just 3 years old. Boy, I'll get this together here. He was employed by the Chicago Northwestern Railroad as a laborer. He grew up...
Thank you, Ms. Goldberg. Mr. Savornich.
No, it's like this.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President, members of the council.
Just one.
My predecessor, Charles J. Colden, was born August 4th, 1870 on a farm in Peoria County, Illinois, was taken by his parents when 10 years of age to another farm in Nodaway County, Missouri, where he was reared as a farm boy until 19 years of age. His education was accomplished in country schools and colleges. After teaching in country schools for 2 years, young Colden spent 3 years as a principal and teacher in the Manila, Iowa schools. The next 10 years were passed in northwestern Missouri, where Mr. Colden entered politics, edited the Sentinel at Parnell, of which he was the owner, and conducted a literary forum. In 1900, at the age of 30 years, he was elected to the Missouri legislature and served 2 terms. He was president of the State Board of Regents at Maryville, where he resided until 1908, at which time he sold his country newspaper, made a tour of Europe. In Kansas City from 1908 to 1912, Mr. Colden was engaged in building residences. On a pleasure tour of the West in 1912, he was attracted to the possibilities of San Pedro and became a builder and subdivider there. An authority on land, dock, and harbor improvements, Mr. Colden was a national publicist for harbor development. He assisted in securing an appropriation from Congress for the breakwater at San Pedro and the establishment of federal authority to control the natural resources of the Pacific Southwest. From January to July 1924, he served on the Los Angeles Playground and Recreation Commission under Mayor Cryer. From 1924 to 1925, he was president of the Board of Harbor Commissioners. In 1925, he was elected to the Los Angeles City Council, where he served until 1929, where he retired upon the Sovorniches arriving in San Pedro. After serving in the Los Angeles City Council, he was elected a member of the United States Congress. From 1933 to 1938, we hope that history proves him right again.
You have any ideas? Members of the council, the 14th district, Mr. Alatorre, as you know, is recovering from surgery, and I will do his predecessor was William George Bonelli, who served from July 1, 1927 to 1929, and he was president. He was elected and became president immediately. Took me a little longer than that. He was a member of the State Assembly from 1930 to 1934. He was born in 1895 in Kingman, Arizona, where he lived with his parents on a cattle ranch. He was educated in the rural schools and later attended Occidental College in Los Angeles. In 1912, Mr. Bonelli moved to Los Angeles, where he entered the University of Southern California Law School. He graduated in June of 1960 with a law degree. He enlisted in the U.S. Army after his graduation and was a student groundwork at Kelly Field in Texas. Served in France as a lieutenant in the U.S. Army Aviation Corps during World War I. In September 1920, he occupied the chair of political science, Occidental College, and continued that post for 7 years. So he left the college atmosphere and ran and was elected in the city council in 1927 by an overwhelming majority. He represented the 14th council district, served 1 term as president. During approximately 1/6 of his term, he presided as mayor pro tem in the absence of Mayor Cryer, who was always absent. He was not a candidate for re-election. After the general election in June of 1928, Mr. Bonelli was a candidate for mayor, but was defeated by John C. Porter. In 1930, he was elected to the State Assembly, where he represented the 54th District for 4 years. In April 1935, Mr. Bonelli was appointed State Director of the Department of Professional and Vocational Standards, and subsequently he was appointed and was elected many times to the Board of Equalization. In addition to his duty as state officer, Mr. Bonelli was engaged in the practice of law, maintaining his office in the Garfield Building in downtown Los Angeles. Members of the council and ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the city clerk for this information, and especially the library department that gave us these backgrounds on these former members of the city council. And with that, we will recess and we will gather around the center table with the current members and the legendary members who are with us today. Will they all please gather? And Nate, you want to say something, but I'm not going to let you say anything.
Oh, yeah, Mr. President. I just want to, as they were introducing the original council persons in 1927, I took note of the fact there were 2 Italians. That's pretty good, John.
Members of the council, we do have a lot of things on our agenda yet, and I think the people were nice enough to allow us to have this little ceremony between items on the agenda, and we want to thank them for their patience. But you do have to realize that this is a historic day for the city council. We didn't want to keep the members of the former members of the council waiting too long. So if we can get back to item number 20. Lunch. Ms. Goldberg, I'm going to call on you first.
Well, why don't we just continue it on a daily basis? And I just think we need to continue it on a daily basis. And that would be my motion. I mean, there's a lot of things I could say, but I'm not going to. But I would like to ask that the hearing be closed and that this be continued. No, I'd like to be on the calendar on a daily basis.
So you want to continue it one day?
Yes.
And
one day.
The public hearing is closed. Mr. Wax?
I did.
I actually want to speak about this.
All right.
Sorry, Ruth.
You have the floor.
I want to speak about it because I hope in the time that we continue this, some people might take the time to find out what this is really all about. First of all, what it's not about. This is not an issue of the council versus the mayor. And I think that those who keep trying to portray it in that way, or particularly an issue of the mayor versus Councilwoman Goldberg, are doing a great disservice. I think they're doing a disservice to the council, and they're doing a disservice to the city by continuing to foment a division that is not healthy, unnecessary, and not in fact the situation. So I think that we've got to clear that and hope that that is not going to be the consideration we keep hearing about. The second thing is, Mr. President, this is not the barracks, and this is not a sex club, and this is not about any of the kinds of things that were raised in that debate. I've tried to understand this issue more because I always figure there's something here that we're not being told, to try to find out what this is really about. In the last week, I've spoken to probably about a dozen people who have either performed at Moguls, who have either produced acts that appear at Moguls, or who have been in attendance there at performances. You have a completely different picture has been portrayed of what this is than what really is there. It is an important venue for alternative music. As Mr. Schneiderman says, it is an important link between the music that is produced and music going public. It is a performance, it has been a venue for some very important performance art that is sometimes raw and controversial. One of the acts, Mr. President, is an act that has been, is by a performer named Ron Athey, who is probably one of the most outstanding performance artists in our city and the country, whose work has been attacked by Jesse Helms of the National Endowment for the Arts, who has been scandalized, but who has been supported by a grant from this City Cultural Affairs Department, who has been supported by grants for the National Endowment, and who does some very difficult performances. They involve ritual, they involve scarification, they involve the body, but they're important in art. And I don't want this council, and I don't want the mayor of this city to get involved into some kind of Yahoo reaction to something that isn't so. It's too easy for good people to get swept into First Amendment issues and issues of censorship and issues of morality when they don't know firsthand what's there. And I would hope that if we are going to continue this, we might take more of an opportunity to actually find out what is going on there, rather than be led to believe it's something by people who have some reason for doing so. The results of this are really unfortunate. I don't
Mr.
know...
Wax, please, if you finish.
Well, I think the results are unfortunate. I don't know if this is simply something that has been portrayed by two disputing property owners who've caught the ear of people, or I don't know whether we're going back to something that was prominent in this city council, in this city, when I first became a councilman 27 years ago. And that was an effort on behalf of some in the police department to assert moral values over everything that occurs. We fought that battle, and I thought we had changed a lot that had happened over that time. And I'm hoping that we're not seeing that reoccur again. I'm going to spend more time... I never thought this would command this kind of an interest, but I am going to continue to try to spend more time. I think what's involved here is important. We should not make our decisions based upon whose side we're taking and who we like and who we don't like politically and all that. We should find out what's involved, and we should know the consequences of our action. There's a lot more here than meets the eye, and I think we should take this time and use it to find it out firsthand.
Mr. Bernson, did you want to be heard?
Yes, I do. This is a very tough case for me because I feel like I'm right in the middle of it. I had hoped that this would be continued for a longer period of time because I hoped that some resolution could come out of this that wasn't a confrontation between the mayor and the council. I don't know if that's going to be able to happen. I think there are a couple of misconceptions that I think the council needs to be aware of. Number one, the mayor's veto calls for referring this to the BZA. I've done a lot of research on this. The city attorney tells me that is not possible. We're either going to vote the mayor's veto down, in which case it'll be approved, or if it isn't overridden, then the dance permit portion is dead. Period. Would have to start all over again. There were some things that were objectionable, and I must tell you that I had some problems with some of the activities there, which put me kind of in the middle. There are numerous violations of not serious type things, but numerous violations which were corrected as they came up, sometimes slipped back again. The main objection that I thought, and I think the mayor refers to, was the simulated sex act that took place as part of a show that was on in a period of time there. But that having been said, this is not the barracks. This is not the barracks. I'm going to repeat that. And my decision, and the worst thing you can be is caught in a position between two people who you know, but when I vote on this thing, I'm going to vote based strictly upon the land use aspects of this, because that is what is before us. There are violations which the ABC are pursuing that are a violation of their conditions, such as a standing bar. It's up to them to enforce that. That's not one of our regulations. The menu is another matter. I don't know. This is a bar. This is not a restaurant. Anybody that's under the conception that this is a restaurant is wrong. It is not. It is a bar that does serve some food incidentally. I had hoped that we could resolve some of these things by everybody sitting down and talking. I don't think that's going to happen now. But I also want to point out another thing. Mrs. Goldberg made 2 amendments at the council floor on this that did not come out of the committee. Those are invalid because we did not have them before us. We had no authority to do it. So if the mayor's veto stands, it will revert back to the CUP that he has now, which is for live entertainment, which is for a 12 o'clock closing period of time. So I just want everybody to understand where this goes. But this is a tough case. You know, you want to be loyal to people, and you understand the mayor has some things that he really believes in, that direction he's coming from. Whether there is a moral, whether we're supposed to judge morals or not, I don't know. But I think that this particular, from what I've gathered from this particular case, the appellant is a equal problem, or perhaps a greater problem in the area, at least according to some of the testimony we've had from people who have appeared before our committee and before this council. And well, I'll be finished, John, in a second. I am the chair of the committee, so you don't want me to talk? If you don't want me to talk, I'll sit down, okay?
Holden, if he wants to talk, he can talk again. You want to change the rules, you can change the rules.
You changed the rules the other day, Mr. President, when you asked for reconsideration. I'm going to take you to court on that one.
Well, I do on you because I should.
Moment of silence for Mr. Ferrara, please. Anyway, Mr. President, members, all the reasons that's been mentioned is why one is voting for or against this proposal. It's not my thoughts at all. I think each of us have some rules or policies that we adhere to. I have never voted for a recommendation of a facility when an investigation has been performed by the police department or ABC, and they come out against it. I've never done that. And when it was suggested to me that that was the case, then I said, okay, I know how I'm going to vote. If it were suggested to me that they were performing some kind of a dance that they have a right to perform, I would have said no. The barracks was a different situation. I mean, even though the majority of the council voted for it, I did not. And, I still adhere to my principle, my beliefs, and I have not changed, nor have I wavered ever. I would not waver on free speech because everyone is entitled to that. But I'm not going to waver on saying to the police department, we want you to do certain things, and then when they give us their professional opinion, then we say no, I'm not going to do that. Now, I just talked to the chief here, Pearsall, and I asked him, come on, tell me again now before the vote. He told me, he says, they need time to set the record straight based on some past performances, that they're not saying their no position is a lifetime sentence, in other words. And I think it should be worked out. I talked to Ron Deaton. What can we do to help? I mean, to satisfy the ABC, satisfy the police department. They're in violation of some of the conditions that's already been set on that place. What are you going to do about that? Close your eyes? I'm not. And so I'm not running and I'm not hiding. I'm telling exactly why I'm voting the way I vote. I will support free speech. I will support the performances as long as they're within the law and they're provided for. I will do that. But that's not the reason why they said they were against it.
Don't ever say he'll never go back.
Ms. Galanter.
Can Mrs. Chick go before me? Thank you, Mr. President. I'll keep my comments very focused and brief. In terms of basing land use decisions on feedback from the Los Angeles Police Department, whom I absolutely regard as our law enforcement experts, but not our land use experts. And I just want to remind my colleagues of a fairly recent case that was before Plum Committee when I was serving on it. And while it was in the West Valley, it wasn't in my part of the West Valley, where LAPD Vice came and gave testimony against allowing Jerry's Deli from having a covered patio added to their facility. Why? Because lots of, high school and local CSUN students, et cetera, sometimes on the weekends after going to movies, go there. They have, I think, 24-hour or late hour operations, and there had been some calls for service to LAPD at that facility because young people were kind of hanging out. The Plum Committee unanimously supported granting the conditional use permit to Jerry's Deli. And what we suggested was that there were ways for law enforcement, the business owner, the community to talk about what the problems were and see what good solutions there could be, and still allow a wonderful chain of restaurants to have outdoor cafe-type facilities and to grow and expand business-friendly, too. It seems to me, in this case, there had been some problems. They've been corrected. That's not an infrequent thing with businesses, and that the problems, according to the council member in the district and many of her community, have been resolved. I think that we need to play an active part in being land use decision makers turn to LAPD for their feedback, but not rely on them to be our land use experts, per the example I just cited you. Thank you.
Ms. Galanter.
I move the previous question.
But we're going to continue the matter.
That's right.
Okay, prepare the roll on the previous question, which would cut off debate.
Cut it off.
Tabulate the vote.
12 ayes, 2 noes.
All right, that is approved. We have the motion to continue one day. Is there any objections to that? Seeing none, that will be the order.
Thank you, Ms. Galante.
Okay, the next item.
Put it on.
Next item, Mr. President, item number 31, called special by Councilmember Walters, and you have a card on that item. Item number 31.
Howard Watts wants to be heard on item 31.
Just a second, John. Find it. Oh, that's that security mess. Yeah. If we can get the council members away from the microphone, we can do some work here, I think. Security needs assessment plan implementation. I always thought we had security, but we don't need what I heard many months ago, years ago, where they were going to put in a equipment in front and back of this council chambers, and even the council members would be protected by nobody coming through the metal detector and that kind of hogwash. And I'm glad it never got implemented. And Rudy's committee, when he was in charge, he got a big black eye over that one. I can tell you that this whole project is going to have to be stopped. I consider it in the same situation as what Rudy Savanovich wanted some time ago, and he seems to think that it's going to be taken care of in all those city facilities. Well, you know, when we go to city facilities, we have to sign in, wear badges and all that garbage. I don't like it. I think free access to these buildings as members of the public, we don't need all this security around there. The people that are working for the government may need the security, but the public does not need that kind of security. We have never had what happened in Oklahoma, a major bombing, and in New York. So let's not have paranoia. And that's what I consider this whole project here as paranoia. Thank you very much.
So, all right, we have item 31 before us. Did we get a motion on the
Mr. President,
Mrs. Walters?
I had called it special and would like to be heard at this time on it. Is this appropriate time?
Yes, yes.
All right. Council members, I called this special based on the request for additional positions that are being requested here, and the funding source for those positions is requested to be the unappropriated balance. It's my understanding that there's no money in the unappropriated balance. And in addition, there's a recommendation to support special officer status for general service officers, which has already been approved. And I don't know why this should be approved again, why we need to have it here again. The Personnel Committee also deleted one of the recommendations in the plan that would authorize academy training for general services officers through the LAPD, and I don't know why that was eliminated. But the major thing here, council members, is that there's no money for this, and these positions can wait until July 1 for this implementation. There are no monies in the unappropriated balance at this time, and I urge you to vote no on it.
Mr. Ridley Thomas.
Mr. President, I rise to urge the members of the council to support, and I would move the Budget and Finance report on this item. We have essentially addressed this over and over again. There are pieces of the action that we took previously that have to be attended to in order to fulfill our original intent. This is but an example of that, and toward that end, I think we have done all that we need to do with respect to the appropriate analysis of this matter. What is at stake here, once again, is the security of public facilities under the jurisdiction of the City of Los Angeles, particularly buildings such as City Hall East, Barnsdall Park, and a range of other facilities. I don't know why we would pause for one moment, and I'm pleased that the vast majority of us have realized that we can't pause or delay any longer in making sure that we have done what is necessary to require and cause the security personnel to be up to speed with respect to modern techniques and to be appropriately positioned in terms of staff morale issues, and all of those issues are combined here in this action. I move the Budget and Finance report.
Okay, any further discussion? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
13 ayes, 1 no.
That is approved. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, you have item number 37.
Mrs. Walters, you call 37 special?
Yes, I did call 37 special. It involves the Joy Picus Child Care Center, which is here in CD9 at City Hall South. There's a motion here that the gist of the report is requesting a new operator for that center. The first moving clause designates the executive director to release the proposal. It's the second moving clause that gives me pause, and I think the council should pay attention to. The second moving clause allows the executive director to not only release the RFP, but to evaluate, score the proposals, to negotiate and execute an agreement with the selected contractor. There's no appeal process in here. There's no council involvement here. So I'd like to amend the motion to require the executive director of the Commission for Children, Youth, and their Families to submit the agreement with the selected contractor either to the Arts, Health, and Humanities Committee or other appropriate committee prior to execution. And this will allow the council to address any concerns that may arise out of this bidding process. And we certainly hope there will be none, but there needs to be that check and balance. And so I move to amend the report to have the recommendation for the new operator submitted to the appropriate council committee before that is finalized and the contract is let.
Mr. Hernandez.
Members of the council, Ms. Walters is correct in stating that the Joy Picus Child Care Center is in the 9th District. So is this building. The reality is the Joy Picus Child Care Center provides services to city employees. Many of those city employees working out of different departments of the entire city, but that's basically where they leave their children. The reason I brought this in as a motion on behalf of the Commission on Children, Youth, and Families was a result of a meeting I had about 3 months ago in which they were asking for an additional grant of money for purposes of dealing with the current child care provider. The reality is the current child care provider is providing us a very expensive service. And we know that there's the possibility of other child care providers out there who could provide the same service in a more economical sense. And that's what the RFP is about. I just want to remind everybody here that time is money. I don't know what the intentions of the council member of the 9th District is. If she'd like the RFP process to go through her office, that should be the instruction. I just think that for this council to be looking at one child care provider in terms of an RFP is a little bit wasting of money and time. And that is why the RFP is before us at this time, so that they could expedite this process, so that the Commission of Children, Youth, and Families could make a decision and we could get a provider. And again, I want to respect Ms. Walters' request. I just don't think it's an issue that has to go through the committee structure, that's an issue that has to go in front of this entire council, and I think it's wasting a lot of time as well as a lot of money. And judging from Ms. Walters' previous remarks regarding the budget, I think we have to be a little bit more efficient as to how we do things. And that's the only intent the motion had.
Ms. Galanter?
Well, my concern was somewhat similar, but it's not clear from the way this is framed on the agenda whether the executive director would do this alone or whether the Commission on Children, Youth, and Families would review it. And it would seem to me that and I think from what Mr. Hernandez just said, that the Commission is intended to review it, that the executive director will report to the Commission that supervises her. And that would seem to me to create the conditions of oversight, so it isn't just one single person making a decision unsupervised, and also because of Prop 5 would allow the council, if there is any problem, to assert jurisdiction, but if not, you'd have at least the collective judgment of the Commission, which, as you point out, can operate faster than we can. And so if it is intended that the executive director and her, if we're authorizing the Commission to go ahead, we don't actually have to authorize the Commission, but I think it should be clear that the executive director will not be working alone in a vacuum, but will be supervised by the appropriate Commission.
All right, Mrs. Walters?
Thank you, Mr. President. It was my understanding that from the Commission that this request to go to committee would not slow down the process, that it would not alter the process. If it's going to the Commission, I would amend the report that they have an appeals process in this RFP. In the event that there is a problem with the bidding, it should be worked out. There shouldn't be any contract, council members, in my opinion, that's let without an appeals process in it. And I recognize that the council has the Prop 5 capacity, but it would be far better, it seems to me, to have that built in than to have to go through the problem of the Prop 5 on the back end, if we have the appeal process on the front end. And so with that, I will accept Ms. Galanter's amendment that it will go to the Commission, and then it won't need to go to committee.
No, rightfully so, and I have no problems with those amendments to the actual motion.
Okay, then we'll accept that amendment. So we have 34 as amended. Prepare the roll.
37, Mr. President.
37, I'm sorry. To tabulate the vote.
14 ayes.
That is approved. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, you have item number 42. You have a card on that item.
42.
Yes, Mr.
Howard
President.
Watts. Busy little beaver today.
My bank should not have donated any money for that Asia trip. That's exactly what this thing is. And I understand, John, you went there with them, didn't you?
No, I didn't, Howard. No, I didn't.
You didn't? That's what we were told.
You get your news, Howard.
We were told everybody in this city went there.
Who told you?
$37,500 gift by the Regent Properties. That's $10,000 from them. Wells Fargo, $10,000. Toyota Corporation, $2,500, cheapskates. And Arco Corporation, $15,000. To the City of Los Angeles for the February 20th, 1998 through March 7th, 1998, Los Angeles Business and Friendship Mission to Asia. The only problem with that whole thing is that there is a minority business development agency and minority business opportunity committee activity for that account. Allow Los Angeles Minority Business Opportunity Committee to utilize any access funds for international trade related to expenses including obtaining legal services for the international trade promotional video. Authorize the Mayor's Office of Economic Development to thank the donors on behalf of the City of Los Angeles. I say drop the money that you're accepting from these high-priced businesses, including my bank, Wells Fargo.
Thank you. I didn't know you owned that bank, Howard, but any discussion on that item 3042? And if not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 eyes.
That is approved. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, item number 46. You have a card on that item?
Yeah, we have a little Howie Watts.
I've been against this group, and I guess Goldberg will keep on pushing this team, the Hollywood beautification team, for concrete cuts needed to install trees along 41st Drive between Hoover Street and Menlo. You know, I always thought that Hollywood beautification teams were supposed to stay in Hollywood, in the redevelopment area only. Now we find them over on Robertson and every place else in this city. We don't need that agency or that group, that nonprofit by Sharon Romano. Sharon Romano is not the kind of person that we need doing work in the city of Los Angeles. She's received millions and millions of dollars with no audit done by the controller. We asked for an audit the last time we went to his office, and James Armstrong disapproved that and came out with a survey to find out what was going on. Well, we know that Sharon was supposed to make a quarterly report when this thing all got started. She has never made a quarterly report other than the two that I ever remember seeing. I think what we need is another audit, a major audit against the Hollywood beautification team, and even against Operation Clean Sweep, because they're the ones who are giving, and the CRA, because they're the ones who are giving Sharon Romano this money, and she doesn't do a bit of work. She's got misdemeanor people doing the work for her, and I want to tell you, the last statement I want to make on this is that every time she gets her criminals to do the graffiti removal, it sweats right through. You see the graffiti again and again and again. It never gets cleaned up, and all we're doing is...
Why don't you join them and help them, Howard, and you can show them how to do it so it would be more effective.
You know, I always like John Farrell's comments because they are as bad as Hollywood beautification team and Sharon Romano, who will take your place when you retire, probably.
She does a lot more for Hollywood than you do, Howard. All right, any discussion on 46? If not, prepare the roll. Tabulate the vote.
14 eyes.
That is approved. Next item.
Next item, Mr. President, item number 51, called special by Council Member Hernandez.
Mr. Hernandez, we got somebody that wants to be heard. We've had hearings on this. You have the floor.
Yeah. Mr. President, members of the council, item 51 is basically a formation of a whole new commission and dealing with the issue of tax cap franchises. And I don't oppose that idea. I think it's a good idea. In fact, I support it. However, I did have some questions, and I wanted staff to hopefully be able to answer them. I know that Shelley's here from the city attorney's office. We also have James from the Department of Transportation. One of the issues that's before us was the establishment of an advisory board to be working hand in hand with the commission regarding civil ridership. And that commission, that advisory board is basically, you have someone from the Entertainment Business Bureau, from the business community, someone from the Department of Aging. I saw a reference made to people with disabilities. Can we make sure that someone who deals with the issue of disabilities be part of that advisory board?
James Okazaki from the Department of Transportation. Yes, we can. We'll be working closely with the Board of Taxi Cab Commissioners to suggest such an appointment. Appointment is made by the Board of Transportation Commissioners. And a correction I'd like to make, if I may, is that the original motion, the original item requested...
Jim, it's my 3 minutes. I want to just get my questions out, then you can answer them.
The answer is to the affirmative. Okay. Yes, I will.
And all your remarks you can make afterwards. The second question I have, right now, we're talking about taxi cabs. Members of the council, we have approved community dashes. We've approved smart shuttles. We have systems that are similar to jitneys. And I want to give you an example. For example, we have markets, stores who now are providing a service of driving their customers home and picking them up on shuttle systems. And right now, the Department of Transportation hasn't basically looked at that issue. The question I'm asking, those kinds of issues, will they remain under the Department of Transportation commissioners? And is this solely limited to taxi cab drivers?
Yes.
I just want to make sure that was understood, because in the Department of Aging, we issue contracts for dial-a-ride, these other types of services that are transporting people, and there could be fees that are attached to those transportations. And I just did want to make sure we as a council understood the only thing we're establishing is a commission that will oversee what we call a taxi cab.
That's true, and it's defined very narrowly.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else want to be heard? Mrs. Walters?
Thank you, Mr. President. Are we on 51?
Yes.
Yes.
I thought this was a closed session item.
Item number 50.
No, the closed
50.
session, we wouldn't have all these people in it.
51. Gotcha. I'm concerned about creating a taxi advisory committee and a taxi commission. Can you tell me what we need
Yes.
both for?
Yes, I'd like to clarify something, and that is that recommendation number 1, it says the Director, Department of Transportation, to form a taxi advisory group. The ordinance has been recrafted to say that taxi commission, the Board of Taxi Cab Commissioners, who's going to be appointed by the mayor, be authorized at its discretion establish an advisory committee if and when they want to get input. And that's the revised version. I'm sorry that the number 1 is not stated in such way. So the advisory group that we're talking about will be an advisory group that will be appointed by the taxi cab commissioners.
John, a point of order, point of information, really. That was not the direction in committee, Mr. I'm sorry, Okazaki, thank you. That was not the direction. We said that if the commission wanted to create an advisory committee, they could do that anyway.
Joel?
So we did not make any reference
Joel?
to an advisory committee whatsoever. And yet, when we get the report back, we see it included.
We made a mistake then, sir. We thought that
So
was
I
part
agree
of
with
the-
you, we don't need it.
We could remove that from the
That was not the direction of the committee. The report is in error when it says that the Transportation Committee recommended that the commission could form this advisory committee at their discretion. They can do that anyway, and we did not preclude them, nor did we affirm that should be what happens. And if they intend to do that, I want to weigh in.
Okay. This is my time, and I got just a very little bit left. Thank you very much, Mr. Okazaki and Mr. Alacon. The other question I wanted to ask, I understood that there's also a recommendation for reduction in size of the Transportation Commission to accommodate this new taxi commission, but that's not included in the report.
You're going to empty this thing out for me?
There are 4 ordinances before the council. Among those 4 ordinances is one that does make the reduction between the current complement of the Transportation Commission. So that is before you.
Is that before us?
It is, yes.
All right, with this report. All right, the final question, I noticed that there's no fiscal analysis that's been done. What is this new commission and possibly an advisory committee, if they so choose, going to cost us?
The department is recommending that there be 2 new positions, one as a taxi cab administrator, that'll be at the level of a senior management analyst, and an executive secretary. Since that would have a fiscal impact, the Transportation Committee has forwarded that part of the report to personnel and to finance for consideration, and that today we're just talking about moving the ordinance forward.
Did it go to those two committees with a source of funds, recommended source of funding?
Yes, it did.
Okay, so we'll deal with that later. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. Holden?
President, a lot of this is all wrong.
Joel?
What you're requesting, Mr. Alarcon. For example, if you're going to direct the Department of Transportation to form a taxi cab advisory group consisting of whether they do it or whether you do it, well, then it shouldn't exist. Okay, James, this should not exist at all. And the reason why,
I understand.
there's a conflict with the Hotel Managers Association because they give just certain taxi cab companies the right to pick up at their hotels, and then they get a fee for that. They get a kickback. What you're doing is you supporting really a corrupt process, because you know that's what happens. Then, of course, you have the Convention and Business Bureau. They seem to be above board. The Department of Aging, okay, but also certain taxi cab companies. Who are they? There are a number of taxi cab companies. Which one would you select to be represented on this advisory group? It's just opening the door to make the taxi cab situation worse than what it is. Well, then just throw it out there. You're going to reject that altogether? It's not going to be a part of this motion?
It shouldn't have been included.
Oh, so you're going to receive and file that regular?
No, it should have never been there.
Should never
And
been there in the first
It's been
place.
deleted by the clerk already.
Or it's been deleted by the clerk. Okay, fine. James, don't ever bring that up again. That's awful. Okay, you know what the conflicts are. The other thing is that this taxi cab commission is to be formed. And the regular transportation commission be reduced in size. Reduced from what number to what number?
7 to 5.
7 to 5. How many members will be on the taxi cab commission?
5.
Will they serve on both?
No.
Okay. I don't think that you should reduce the size of the commission, transportation commission. There's no need to do that.
Our recommendation was to have the 2 members of the 7-member go to the new taxi cab commission.
No, because they started out bad over there. They're part of the problems that we have. And even though you give out franchises and permits to operate, there's no accountability. And everybody seems to be in bed with one another over there, James. And if you're going to make any changes, make some meaningful changes. And I would say, as we have term limits, that we should not permit any person serving or who have served on that commission to serve on this taxi cab commission. I mean, don't bring that bad news with you. Mr. Alarcon, I think that you already know that there are problems. You already know that they are exercising preferential treatments to one cab versus another cab company. Well, then let's vote against. He doesn't have a vote. And James is a good guy. But the fact of the matter, I think that I want you to make the motion. You're the chairman. If you think that they should serve, fine. Mr. Alarcon, how would you like to remedy this, since you know what the facts are?
Well, the staff had been working on modifying the commission. I frankly raised the same issue you raised with regard to tying the reduction of the commissioners to the taxi cab authority. There's not necessarily a nexus whatsoever, as far as I can see. However, staff requested that. The committee that was present, including Mr. Wax and Savornich, felt that it was not contrary to their desires, and so the committee as a whole voted unanimously. I do not have a strong position with regard to the 7 commissioners or 5 commissioners on the Transportation Commission. Mr. Holden, if I could say, I would be happy to defer the issue of reduction of the commissioners to the committee. I think it's real important for the city that we move forward with the taxi authority.
I have no problem with that. I'll vote for the taxi authority, but to defer in the other recommendation, Mr. Savornich, I think is something that might be in order, and I second that motion.
We understand that. We'll
Chair
correct the
recognizes
ordinance.
Councilman Alarcon.
Very briefly, our Transportation Commission spends about half of their time on taxi issues. That's the problem. There are so many issues related to transportation that our Transportation Commission needs to deal with, but they actually have created a separate meeting just to deal with taxi issues. I don't need to tell you about all the problems we've had with taxis and all the contract disputes. We've ended up in court, the whole lot. You all know about that. This is an effort to form an authority that will have 100% of their activities focused on taxi service in the city of Los Angeles. And it has broad consensus of staff, of the unanimous vote of the committee. The issues of reducing commissioners, I'd be happy to amend this action to refer that back to committee for further consideration. The important thing is that we allow, and by the way, the Transportation Commission wholeheartedly embraces the formation of a taxi authority. Certainly the mayor's office supports as well, and this is really to resolve all the problems that we've seen with regard to administrating the taxi contract. So I would urge that we support the ordinance to the extent that we form the taxi authority. I want to amend the written report to exclude formally the number 1, which the committee decided not to make any comment with regard to the advisory group, and thank you, Ms. Walters, for pointing that out. That was clearly something that the committee voiced that they did not want to get involved with. And secondly, with regard to the financing of the additional positions, that matter should go to Budget and Finance. However, the formation of the authority can still function with existing staff. So I would urge support of the establishment of a taxi authority.
Chair recognizes Councilman Hernandez.
I understand the committee basically has now clarified the report by saying that the direction that the Department of Transportation form a taxi cab advisory group is no longer part of the report. And I'd like to move that directions be included in the report, as well as that there be included in the advisory group someone from the Department of Disabilities. I just think in the formation of a new commission, even though that commission has the authority to establish an advisory group, at the beginning there might be some merit to having an advisory group dealing with some of the issues that are still facing the taxi cab industry. So I'm making the motion. The council can decide it as a policy, and if we voted down, we voted down, but I just wanted to introduce that motion for that purpose. To basically direct that the advisory group be formed to work with the commission. First, yeah, this one.
Chair recognizes Councilman Savornich. Councilman Savornich moves to previous question. All right, we have how many amendments do we have here?
We have 3 amendments. You have Councilmember Hernandez's amendment to include recommendation 1 into the report to direct the Department of Transportation to have an advisory group. You have Councilmember Alarcon's motion to delete recommendation number 1, and also to include that the taxi cab committee, the number of members would be referred back to the Transportation Committee.
And was there one other? Did anyone else have an amendment, or just those 2?
Well,
all right.
Okay.
Okay. First, open the roll. Then on Councilman Alarcon's amendments. Close the roll.
12 ayes.
All right. Now we have Mr. Hernandez. Let's clear the machine.
Yeah, the number of commissioners was going to go back.
That was relative to the Transportation Commission, not the taxi authority.
Right.
Yeah.
The transportation.
Okay.
And that was your motion. Your first motion was to delete recommendation number 1.
Relative to reducing the number of transportation commissioners.
Right.
Not taxi authority commissioners.
Right. But and then you also had recommendation number 1 on the report to delete that item totally.
Right.
Okay. And now open the roll, Mr. Hernandez's amendment. Close the roll.
9 ayes, 3 noes.
All right. Now, as soon as the roll is clear, we'll open it again on the item as amended. All right. Open the roll on the item as amended. Close the roll.
12 ayes.
All right, that's approved as amended. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Next item, Mr. President, you have item number 50, which are closed session items.
All right, we'll hold those.
This is the time for public comment on items not on the agenda.
All right, I have two requests to be heard. Mr. Howard Watts and Mr. Robert Taylor. Mr. Watts here? Mr. Taylor here? Yes, come forward, please.
First of all, I would like to say hi to one of my best friends, Mr. Joe Wax, and I also want to address the following. Last Thursday, I went personally to an Airborne Express, box in Beverly Hills, which I'm a resident of the city of Los Angeles, of course, and I dropped in some information directly for the Los Angeles Housing Department for a 20-day notice to be issued to my manager for a hearing to take place. And it was received by Mr. T. Johnson in the mailroom on Friday. But on Tuesday, when I went to my apartment, I found out that Airborne Express turned back the package because the Los Angeles Housing Department rejected it. I am really upset with the position of the Los Angeles Housing Department, and I think, in my opinion, in the near future, they should have sent packages from Airborne Express Corporation and from any other company that is possible, so tenants like us can file 20-day notices and complaints to the Los Angeles Housing Department without any problems. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Taylor. Mr. Watts?
I want everybody in this room to understand that the West Side restructuring plan has gone crazy. They don't even use mics. Russ, the guy that's in charge of the thing, doesn't use mics. The pamphlets that are supposed to have been distributed on all the buses, not only in Santa Monica, but in Los Angeles, they have not been distributed. And you cannot get anybody from the Transportation Committee here in LA or at the MTA to extend this darn thing for another 2 or 3 weeks so people can get there and be able to testify as to what that restructuring is all about. The maps are too small to even recognize the streets where the thing is at, plus the fact that the person conducting the issue does not want to pay attention to ADA violations when people cannot hear what's going on. There's no mics in front of anybody who are in the audience, and they only give us about 2 or 3 minutes to talk about this West Side restructuring. I was at the church yesterday. I'll be going to Santa Monica Elementary School tomorrow night. That's near my home, and I could tell you, we are going to have to get the MTA to make sure, and I'm hoping the City Council will force the issue also in the committee, Transportation Committee, that when we have meetings of this sort for restructuring of these bus service and rail and everything else, that they are done with a lot of people involved, that is community members, people, not just people that get on the rails, but get in our buses and in our dash buses and everything. We need input. We do not have input the way this is going on. There is no accountability by this $300,000 or $500,000 contract that Russ has got. And it is unbelievable what's going on at these meetings. I can only say that we've got one in Santa Monica, the city of Santa Monica tonight. We've got one at Santa Monica Elementary School on Van Ness and Santa Monica Boulevard tomorrow night and tomorrow afternoon. So I would love to see, well, I don't think there's one tomorrow afternoon, but there is one in the evening. And I would like to see somebody in Hollywood area especially say, hey, if you don't send don't have the pamphlets on the buses where these people can get them and pick them up, and have somebody on the buses announcing that the pamphlets are available for you to go to the meetings, and they can tell you exactly where and what you can do on instructions on where the buses that to run to these areas where the meetings are being held. It's obvious somebody wants to give $300,000 to Russ and $500,000 for other restructuring processes, but they don't care for him the way we think he should be running the meetings. It took me an hour and a half to get back last night because the bus service stinks out loud on Wilshire and on Normandy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Watts. That completes the public hearing. Next order, Madam Clerk.
Next order, Mr. President, motions for posting and referral.
All right, those will be posted and referred.
Next item, Mr. President, you have an excuse on the desk from Councilmember Walters for Tuesday, June 9th for vacation, meets council policy.
All right, that's approved.
Next order, Mr. President, you have the closed session items.
All right, would the sergeants prepare the room for executive session? Mr. Alarcone suggests we pull his dental benefits on him. I thought that was pretty good. Don't anybody leave. All right, are we back into open session, Madam Clerk? All right, what do we have before us?
We have a motion to approve the settlement in the amount of $9 million.
Open the roll, close the roll. It's approved.
10 ayes.
No. It's 9 to 1.
9 ayes, 1 no.
It's approved. And next order, Madam Clerk.
That clears the desk, Mr. President.
All right. Do we have any adjourning motions? Would the audience and the council please rise for adjourning motions? Ms. Chick?
Yes, I'd like to ask that we adjourn in honor of the father of a very special person who was an intern as a master's student from USC School of Social Work in my office this year, Mr. Eugene Taylor, Jr., who is the father of Stan Taylor. He was also the father of 4 children altogether and leaves his wife, the 4 children and grandchildren. He worked for the Postal Service for 35 years, and he graduated from Ohio State with a degree in accounting. He was a first lieutenant in World War II, and he will be very deeply missed by his family.
Mr. Fuhrer.
I have an announcement that the Arts, Health, and Humanities Committee will meet immediately upon the conclusion of City Council in room 316.
Ms. Goldberg.
Yes, I don't know if we did this or not, but the country music world lost, I think, a really premier performer, an individual who had a very difficult life in Tammy Wynette, and I just think we ought to observe her passing as well and to adjourn in her memory.
All members on that. Mr. Hernandez?
Yes, Mr. President, members of council, I ask that we adjourn in the name of Edmund Louis Vitkovich. He passed away on April the 4th. He served in World War II in the Navy. His son, Michael Vitkovich, is the assessment manager for the Business Improvement District projects throughout the city. And He basically survived by his sister, Mary Ann, as well as his son, Michael.
All members, Mr.
And I have another adjourning motion. Members ask us to adjourn in memory of David Duran. He passed away on April 7th. I'm asking that Councilman Alatorre also second on this adjourning motion. Mr. Duran lived in El Sereno and was a personal friend of both of us.
Mr. Holt.
Mr. President, members, I probably want Mr. Fuhrer to join with me in adjourning in memory of Mr. Rudolph W. Mickens. Mr. Mickens was about 90-plus years old, very active in the Claude Pepper Senior Citizen Center. He's been the president, he's been the regional president for all the seniors, very active. In fact, I think we were there at a little celebration, and he was dancing over 90, and so he's passed away. Certainly we're going to miss him, and they're going to miss him there as well.
Councilman Miskowski.
I would like the council to adjourn in the memory of Sergeant Charles P. Newman, a member of the police department who passed away on March 20th. He was a senior lead officer at the Wilshire Division, and he was injured actually on answering a domestic violence call, and he was struck on the back of the head with a skillet, and 3 months later died from an aneurysm as a result of that. He is survived by his parents, Philip and Jean Ann Newman.
For just half a second. He died just immediately before the large CPAP summit that was held at the convention center. And I know a number of the community members active in CPAP, particularly in Wilshire, were particularly inspired by Chuck's work. And a few of us spoke about that day at that gathering. And I wanted just to note that he was a very integral part of the emerging community-based policing model in the Wilshire area.
All members. And I have a second one. One of my former colleagues, and I was able to share this with Councilman Browdy, one of his staff members from 1969 to 1976, his deputy named Bert Wutkin. Bert left, you remember him, Joel, he left the councilman's office and went on to go with the Chamber of Commerce in Los Angeles, where he was the editor of their Southern California Business Journal for a number of years. And after that, he was the director of the Greater LA Press Club. He is survived by his wife Marnie, daughters Connie, Megan, and Karen, and a son, Gavin, and 3 grandchildren. And after Bert retired in 1992, and after he left the council office, he stayed very active in his local community of Pacific Palisades with Friends of the Library, with the Palisades Americanism Parade on the 4th of July, and many, many other community events, so he'll be sorely missed in that community.
I'd like to second that, Ms. Walter.
Mr. President?
Yes, Mr. Holt.
Police officer, he was assigned to the Wilshire Division, and I heard about that, and I would certainly like to be a co-sponsor of that motion. And I understand he turned his back, as you already stated, in a family dispute, and he was hit in the back of the head.
All right, and the Governmental Efficiency Committee is scheduled to meet in a half hour after council, but we're going to try to make it in 20 minutes. I think given the time of the day, we should try to do it within 20 minutes. Let it be known that Councilman Alarcon, Councilwoman Chick, Councilman Fuhrer, Councilman Galanter, Councilwoman Goldberg, Councilman Hernandez, Councilman Holden, Councilman Miskowski, Councilman Walters, and myself are the last 10 council members to meet in this chamber for at least, say, 3 years. And so that shall be recorded, and we will turn out the lights, and we will be at the next meeting in the new chambers. Council is adjourned.